Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Saturday morning here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across to our friends over in the US in particular. And of course, we're heading to Deland in Florida, of course, and it's been to the University of Alabama Birmingham women's basketball team. Of course, they're playing over there in in one of the Seton Classics at the moment. Of course, they just came off a 1-point heart-stopping win over Seton, of course, earlier today. And of course, we've got one of our favourite players joining us right now. Of course, she is actually from Melbourne. Of course, her name's Claudia Armato. She joins us right now. Thanks, Claudia, for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
No worries. Well, tell us a bit about the heart-stopping game earlier today against Seton.
Yes, it did go like a bit back and forth throughout the whole game, but I don't know, we weren't really able to break away like we thought we would, but we just took it down, took it play by play, just focused on getting stops, and yeah, came out with a win, which has kind of been the theme the past couple of games, but I mean, we'll take a win.
As you mentioned, all your games have been like down to like the last couple of baskets to get a result, I guess. But obviously 4-1 to start the season, include obviously also had a cancellation in there as well. You must be pretty happy where you're at the moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been facing adversity right from the get-go, honestly. Unfortunately, we lost two of our girls, including a starter, the very first game, and they're out for the season. We just lost another starter last game. She won't be out for too long, but yeah, we've just been really battling this whole season. I mean, obviously it's hard as it is with COVID, never knowing when you can play, but the fact that we've had to like continually have people step up. I mean, we have like 6 freshmen this year, so we've really had to rely on them to kind of step up, and they've been showing up, and it's been great to see. But yeah, I mean, 4-1, I mean, it should be 5-0, where we know we should have probably taken out that last win, but no, it's good. We're good where we're at.
Now, of course, you do have a very quick turnaround. Obviously, you got another game tomorrow as well down there in Florida. I guess how are you going to try and approach that game tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Well, we just had film then. It's a very different game to today. Today's game was very much so defending for the drive, and this game tomorrow, they're all shooters. Everyone 1 through 4 can shoot the ball, so we've just got to be locked in, know our personnel, hand in the face, and just be ready to lock down on D essentially, and yeah, work from there.
Of course, you got moved into the starting lineup because of obviously all these injuries that you've had, and obviously players missing as well. Obviously, that's not uncommon for you because obviously you've been in the starting lineup for, of course, the last couple of years as well. I guess how you've cherished the role of being in the starter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you mentioned, my freshman sophomore year, I've had a bit of experience starting. It's been different. Kind of, I've just transferred, so it's just different, kind of knowing your role and how to kind of fit into the team, but my coach has a lot of faith in me. I mean, he's had multiple conversations about just gaining my confidence back, and essentially that's just what I really have to focus. When you're playing the role of a point guard, you can't afford not to be confident. So that's something I've really had to work out, especially with this starting role now. But yeah, I mean, I'm taking it game by game. Even in practice essentially is where I'm gaining a lot of my confidence from. So I don't know, I'm happy with where I'm at, and as I said, just trying to look at it game by game.
Now, of course, your team is probably one of quite a few teams that haven't had their season cancelled at all, or barely had many games cancelled at all this year due to COVID. I guess how good is it to at least keep playing as if it's like a normal season, considering what's been happening around the country with the COVID situation?
Right. Yeah. Well, our head coach always reminds us pretty much every day to just be grateful that, for every day we get to be on the court. And that's essentially how you have to take it. We practiced for like a long time. It was probably the longest preseason anyone's had. Obviously the pushback, we normally start earlier in November. But yeah, as I said, it's almost like a day-to-day thing. You just got to keep practicing, keep looking towards, like the next game. But we're really fortunate the amount of times we get tested, and our girls are like pretty good at, you know, being responsible, being smart. Our trainer enforces it all the time, and she's great. So we, yeah, we're just very lucky to be in the position we're at. We're fortunate enough to have the amount of testing 3 times a week, even more sometimes. But yeah, as I said, this whole COVID thing, it's literally day by day. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Now I have to ask, being your junior year over there, have you had a chance to return home during this year, especially with the COVID situation?
Yeah. So when was it? Earlier in the year, I think it was around March. Normally we have all the tournaments. And as soon as ours got cancelled, I was literally driving down to LA and flying out within like 2 days. So I was fortunate enough to get out, get home. I was home for a while. I think it was like 5 months. So that's like the longest I've been home in a while. Normally it's like 4 weeks, if that. So yeah, I was really fortunate to get home, and that was nice to just like have that time with family, you know, really actually catch up instead of feeling like I'm there for a few weeks and going back. So yeah, it was nice.
Tell us a bit about your head coach over there. And I guess, I know this is going to sound really silly question asked, but is he one of the best coaches you've had, other than obviously Randy down here in Altona?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Coach Norton, his first name's Randy as well. So it is funny having played for 2 Randys. But funnily enough, they're actually very similar. So in that sense, I can adapt really well to Coach Norton's system. Me and Coach Norton have a very long history relationship. He actually recruited me out of high school. So I've known him for quite some time now. And he is one of those coaches who not only teaches you stuff on the court, but off the court. And that's something as a player, as I've gotten older, I've really appreciated, because I mean, basketball is just one thing. Like, this is way bigger than basketball, and he really emphasizes that. He's a great guy. I mean, he cares for all of us like we're his own daughters, you know. So it's really great to play for someone like that. But he's so experienced. I mean, he's very smart. He thinks about it like very cerebrally. And I love playing for him. It's very easy to play for someone that loves you and cares for you, and then is just so passionate about the game. So yeah, I'm very fortunate.
Now, of course, you had to go from sort of the mountain areas, of course, in Utah, all the way back to the East Coast. So going further away from Australia to the East Coast there in Alabama. I guess how you adapted to going from one side of the country to the other.
Yeah, it's very different culturally, but I think it's really cool just because of how much I'm learning. You know, being away from home is one thing, but having to experience, like as you said, like Utah, I spent 2 years in Utah, and now I'm going to spend 2 years out here in Alabama. Like, it's just so different and fascinating to just learn about different cultures and lifestyles, and just how people in the US like go about their day, you know. Like, it's actually really cool. But yeah, as you said, I'm further away from home, so mum doesn't really like that.
Now, tell us, you mentioned about your team having 6 new players, freshmen, in the squad. You must have tell us about those freshman players.
Yeah, everyone is just so great. They really do want to learn. It's actually crazy having such a big recruiting class, actually, because we only have 1 senior this year. But as I mentioned before, with all these injuries, like, we've really had to rely on them to like step up. And I mean, each and every one of them have. We've actually, you know, with one of our guards out, Caitlin, a freshman's had to step in and start this game, and she did really well. I think she was on for like 30 plus minutes today, and just, yeah, it's great. They're all really great. As I said, it helps when young players want to learn, and they want to know the system. They want to adapt to the culture. So yeah, they're really great.
Now, let's talk a bit about your basketball journey. Where did it all start, and why did you choose it?
Great question. Gosh. When did I start playing? I think I started when I was like 6 or 7. but it was only because my mom just like literally wanted me to get into everything and everything. Like she would just throw me into like gymnastics and like singing or whatever, like just literally just threw me into everything. And I don't even think I had an interest in it. I knew that my brother played, so I was like, okay, like I'll do it. That was typically the trend. If he did something, I would do something. So yeah, I mean, I just started when I was like 6 and then kind of went from there. As I said, I followed my brother. He played for a while. I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with it. I'm a very competitive person, so I think that helped me get a little outlet for that. But yeah, I don't know, as I said, fell in love with it, had really great coaches. I was really fortunate actually when I was growing up to have such great coaches with like a lot of experience and kind of assisted in growing that love for the game. I also had a really good mentor in Christy Harrower. I'm sure you know her. But I met her when I was very young, and we've kept in contact even to this day. And as I said, I'm just very fortunate. So that's really helped me with my journey. Yeah.
Now, you've been involved in 3 big clubs down here in Victoria, of course, Hawthorn, Bulleen and Altona. Tell us, is there one particular season, or I think I know which one it is, but is there one particular highlight of your time down here in Victoria?
As you said, yeah, three very good clubs, 3 different experiences. But I really can't beat the year with Altona when we won the championship. Like that for me was the best. I loved the team, loved the coaches, loved the families, loved the community support, and to just be able to like do something so big for that club was just insane. And like sharing it with the, as I said, the girls, the coach, the families involved was just really special. And yeah, it's something I reflect on a lot. You know, it was a really great year.
Now, I had a chance to speak to your Altona teammate of that year, Cassidy Gould, not long ago. Well, number one, are you still in contact with her, even though she's not too far from where you are, where she's playing at over there in college? And number two, tell us, number one, were you surprised that you got the grand final MVP that year? And especially that crazy grand final that you had to come from so far back in that game to win it.
So yeah, to answer the first question, I do still keep in contact with Cass. Funnily enough, we flew back here together. It was me, Cass, and a couple other girls. Yeah, we all decided to like buddy up because it was such a hard process to get back to the States, like with COVID and everything. So yeah, it was actually really cool. I don't think we'd seen each other in like a while. So like to kind of fly back here was nice. It was, you know, long flight, so we had a lot to talk about. But no, it was really good to connect with her, and I'm sure we always will. Was I surprised? Like yes, but in it also, like everyone played well. But I remember Randy talking to me at halftime and basically how do you say it nicely? Basically told me I need to get going. So after he kind of gave me that inspiration, I don't know. I remember just wanting to play really hard, and then I mean getting the award at the end was just a bonus. But really, it was easy to play hard for that team because there was just a mutual love for every single player. So and as you said, yeah, we were down quite a bit at halftime, and that's not how we intended it to go at all. But yeah, as I said, just a bonus on top to come away with that. But I was just happy to get the win.
Of course, now throughout your time there at college, is there one particular highlight throughout your college journey over there?
My trainer just said me. Is there a particular highlight? Honestly, no. Like, there's so much. This is my 3rd year, so there's like a lot that's happened throughout my time. But it's just honestly for me, it's just the experience. Like I've had to grow up really, really quickly, like living on your own, doing a lot of things on your own that you don't think that you like would be doing. But yeah, it's just been like a personal growth that I think has like helped me overall, like throughout this experience. Like, as I said before, like, it's bigger than basketball. Like, sure, it's a great opportunity. Like, I'm here in Florida playing basketball. Like, you know, I'm a girl from Melbourne, you know, so it's like, but I don't know, like this year's probably been a highlight as a whole, like just transferring to a different school and meeting really, really great people that genuinely care about you and love you. It's just been great. Yeah. At you, Katie.
Following up from that question, what does the sport of basketball mean to you, especially being there at the University of Alabama, Birmingham?
What does basketball mean to me? I think I'm gonna sound repetitive, but it is bigger than basketball. But I think, I guess, yeah. I mean, I've loved the game since I was like really, really young. And as I said before, like having a mentor in Christy Harrower has like inspired me to, I guess, continue to prove people wrong, you know. And that's just kind of what I hold on to and why I love playing the game. I love learning about the game. Like I think I've really latched on to like trying to be a smart basketball player. And yeah, I don't know. I just love it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm so competitive and I just like like winning and like playing with other like-minded people. But yeah.
And of course, do you have any future ambitions post-college?
Ambitions post college. That's a great idea. I mean, I'm kind of working on like year by year, just trying to improve and just work on my game, as I said, year by year. But when I get home, I mean, I'll keep my options open. I haven't really set any goals to what I'm going to do. I don't think I'll continue to like play overseas just because like I've been doing it for 4 years and it is quite a hard process to live away from home. But I'm definitely wanting to continue to play. Where that will be, I'm not sure. As I said, I'm going to keep my options open to what comes up. And yeah, I don't know. As I said, yeah, just latching onto any opportunity that gets thrown my way, really.
And what will be your advice to our listeners back home that should follow you and your amazing teammates there at the Blazers in the continuing on with this amazing season at the moment?
Oh, to show support. I mean, get on the socials at UAB Women's Basketball. What are you doing? Click that follow button. Come on. I mean, if you're gonna be stuck at home during COVID, you may as well watch a couple games.
And similar question, but this time for anyone that should get involved in basketball in 2021 down here in Melbourne.
It's just a great sport, great opportunity, especially the college pathway. Like I know that it's increasing in popularity year by year. Yeah, it's definitely two ends. You get to experience basketball side of things and then you can improve in a personal perspective. So it really is a great opportunity if that's something that you're aspiring to do or about to do. It really is a great opportunity, but you have to seek advice from others and don't try and do it alone is probably what I would say. Get as many resources as you can, research as much as you can. Yeah, just educate yourself as much as you can about the college process. But yeah, couldn't recommend it more.
Now, of course, you might as well tell us how important has the alternative basketball been to your basketball journey, especially now you're over there in college, and are any of them still in contact with you now?
Yeah, it's huge. Randy Shanklin had a enormous impact on me. We still text. He texted me literally yesterday. So we're still in contact. I'm still in contact with Cass Gould. Yeah, I mean, that time there was really pivotal, I guess, because it was the couple years before I actually left to come over and play. And Randy, as I said, was a big influence. I mean, he would tell me every day at practice, like, you got to think beyond now and today. Like, you're planning on leaving in 2 years, like, you have to be ready. And he was great for that. I mean, he had so much knowledge about different things that I was going to come across that, you know, typically when you're younger, you're very naive about particular things, and he would kind of keep me on track for what I needed to do and how I needed to progress as a player to be ready to just head over as a freshman. So that was huge. And I'm really grateful that I got to spend those couple of years with him and the team. Because as I said, I don't think I'd rather learn from anyone else, especially, you know, how he groomed me going from my junior and senior year of high school over to my freshman year. But yeah, I still keep in contact with some of the girls. They don't necessarily play anymore, which is totally fine. But yeah, and then just Cass. Yeah.
Now let's finish on a couple light-heart questions about your teammates over there. Firstly, who's the comedian in the team?
Jeez. The comedian. There's a few. I mean, Caitlin's always laughing. Caitlin Daniels, definitely always laughing. M. Frasco always has something funny to say. Always has something, little comments to say. We're generally a funny group though, but I would say those two are probably the funniest.
Now, I know there's this social media thing called TikTok. So the question I'm going to ask you is, who's the best singer and dancer in the team?
This is rough. There's like a lot. There's a lot. There are a lot of people that like to make TikToks, but I can't get the one out of my mind that like 3 of our freshmen posted one like maybe last week, and it was just great. So I'm gonna have to give it to them.
Now, has anyone done any embarrassing moments on the court this season, and what was it?
I don't know about a game, but I remember like pre-season we had like a mock scrimmage day, and it was towards the right at the end, and the boys team, our men's team, were like hovering around about to come on because they had practice straight after us. And Maddie, she's another freshman, she's inbounded the ball and is just running and no one's around her, and she's just like stacked it. Face planted in front of everyone, all the guys, like everything. So, I mean, that was hilarious for us, probably embarrassing for her, but it was great.
Oh, now, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Do I have a pre-game superstition or ritual? I wouldn't say superstition. Like, I like to warm up the same way, like be in the same lines and like be in order that way, I guess. But my pre-game ritual is always pre-game coffee. Like, doesn't, you know, I just love a pre-game coffee.
So I've got to ask this. Did you have one today?
I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't today. I was not able today, and it didn't feel good.
Oh, so better make sure you do one for tomorrow then.
Oh, 100%.
Now, have you convinced any of your teammates to come down to Australia with you?
I didn't even need to convince them. They all want to come. Yeah, everyone always says, oh, you know, I have to go down there. I need to go down and see Australia, blah, blah, blah. You know, no convincing needed. They all really want to come and see the beaches and everything like that. So, I mean, I'm down.
Now, how's the Australian accent going with your teammates?
I mean, you kind of always get someone not knowing what you're saying. But I'm kind of used to it. Like, you can kind of read when someone's like then they don't even say it. They don't even go like, what did you say? That you can just like read their facial expression and you're like, you didn't understand, did you? Like, but I think one of the hardest things is like plays, because obviously when you're like calling them out, the hardest thing to do is like get them to understand. So sometimes I'll have to put on like an American accent, specifically with R, because we pronounce it like R, but they're like so it's so different. But other than that, it's not too bad.
Now, following up from that, has any of your teammates tried the Aussie accent, and how's that traveling?
Not good. anytime anyone tries to like do our accent, they'll always sound British, which like I understand, but at the same time I'm like, I don't sound like that, like, ever. And the other thing is like, and it happens for everyone, I guarantee every Aussie living in America like experiences this, but they think we say no so funny. Like they just don't
Oh,
understand how we say no. They're always like, you guys pronounce it like no. And I'm like, I feel like we don't sound like that. I get that all the time.
now we got to finish off these last two, which is, now, do any of your American teammates think we have kangaroos as pets?
I wouldn't put it past some of them, but my trainer just said that's America as a whole. So So yeah, I mean, I do always get some sort of kangaroo question. I've never really had someone ask me if I've had it as a pet, but I did have a couple of teammates actually send me a TikTok of like someone bringing home like a kangaroo, and they're like, "Is this normal?" And I was like, "Definitely not."
Oh. Is there any players on the team that is just plainly forgetful?
Normally pretty good, honestly. My trainer says Jazz. So I'll take her word for it, not mine. But I wouldn't say anyone's really forgetful. The only thing that I can like really tie links to is like one of my teammates, Kylie, just drops things all the time. Like like I don't know what it is, but she'll drop her phone like maybe 5 times a day. Like, very weird.
Well, Claudia, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us after your team's heart-stopping 1-point win earlier today. Obviously, we want to send our best wishes to your teammates for the rest of the season. Hopefully, you get some of those players back in the coming weeks, heading towards that conference play coming up later in the month. And we'll be right behind you. And we're so happy to have our favourite player on the show again.
Of course. Thanks again for having me.
No worries. And that's Claudia Armato there, joins from the University of Alabama, Birmingham women's basketball team. Of course, as she said a couple of questions ago, of course, you can support the team by heading on to the socials as well as their website for their schedule coming up, throughout the season. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the Saturday edition.